Episode: Sterling Services and Creyentes Katrina Vex Practitioner Voodoo Priestess. We were at Sterling Services Bodyguard's Senior Manager Linus's estate home front. Bob and Sarah had gone solo before we had reached the door. They went to either side of the estate house to scope things out and to be available on call as backup should it be needed. Katie, Taylor, and I were at the front door, preparing to knock. But before we could knock, right as I began reaching my hand forward, suddenly an intimidating woman, dressed in a long, flowing white skirt-like dress and a matching top, and who wore a necklace of animal bones. To me, the woman fit perfectly the description of a voodoo priestess. And so I had to presume the woman that opened the door and greeted us before we had knocked was Katrina Vex, the Creyentes Voodoo Practitioner priestess that we were told about. The woman, presumed to be Katrina Vex, smiled and looked excitedly straight at me, and she exclaimed boisterously, "Rick Liberty! You are impressive to behold, as you are famous on the internet." The woman added, staring intently into my eyes, "I see your aura. It blazes very bright. Your aura shines like the sun." Katrina nodded and she said, "Despite abandonment, you have overcome much in life. Most impressive. I am glad to meet you, Rick Liberty." Katrina suddenly stiffened, and her body jolted, as if from electricity. Her eyes, they rolled back into her skull, so only the whites of her eyes could be seen. Katrina, seemingly speaking from a trance-like state, she spoke. "Heed me. I see a boy, grown into a man. In his 50s, I see shadows of the man reunited with his long-lost father. I see the man with his father. They fight alongside each other. In Rome, I see them in an underground vault. Below the Vatican, I sense they find great evil there that tests their fortitude, and it tests their faith. I sense they exist with much sorrow and much suffering." Katrina snapped out of her odd trance. She winced and she shook her head and she spoke. "Oh, the Oricha spirits, they took control and spoke through me." Katrina emphasized, "You must heed the words of the Oricha, for they need you to hear their message. They say it is of great importance. Heed them